Okay, picture this. What if your best engineers, your absolute rock stars, could just stop putting out fires all day? What if they were totally free to just innovate? Well, that's the big promise behind a brand new partnership that's looking to use autonomous AI agents to completely revolutionize how we build and maintain software.
But to really get why this is such a big deal, we got to talk about a huge problem in the software world. It's a question that honestly keeps engineering leaders up at night. Why are our teams always stuck just trying to keep the lights on?
And it really all boils down to one thing: complexity. Our production systems have become these massive, tangled webs, and the knowledge of how they actually work, it's all over the place. It's scattered across a million dashboards, buried in old runbooks, and here's the scariest part: it's locked away in the heads of just a few senior engineers. So what happens when they leave? Poof! All that critical knowledge just walks out the door. This leaves teams trapped, just reacting to tickets and incidents, day in and day out. Innovation grinds to a halt, and those big important projects, like modernizing old systems, they feel completely impossible to even start.
So, how do we break this cycle? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the AI engineer itself, then we'll dive into the brain that powers it, check out the partnership that's bringing it to big companies, and finally, look at the business model that makes it all tick.
All right, so the solution on the table here isn't just another monitoring tool or a fancy dashboard. No, it's a really fundamental shift in how we think about engineering teams. It's about adding a whole new kind of member to the team.
Let me introduce you to the AI production engineer. The best way to think about it is like an autonomous teammate. It's designed specifically to take on all that operational grunt work that bogs down human engineers. You know, stuff like complex support tickets, deep quality assurance, and system analysis.
And look, we're not talking about some generic chatbot here. These things are specialized for really key roles. You've got AI support engineers that can handle those tricky L2 and L3 tickets, all the way from figuring out the root cause to actually pushing a fix. Then there are the AI QA engineers. These guys learn from every issue that's ever happened in production to find new bugs before they can cause any trouble. And maybe coolest of all, you have AI architects that build and maintain this living, breathing map of your system, making sure that crucial knowledge doesn't just, evaporate.
So you might be wondering, what's actually powering these AI engineers? It's not just a generic LLM you can find anywhere. The secret sauce is something way more specialized and aware of its surroundings.
It's all built on something PlayerZero is calling the production world model. This is basically the central brain for the whole operation. Think of it as a living map of your system that learns from every single incident, every deployment, every fix, to build this deep, deep understanding of how your company's software behaves in the real world. It basically takes all those unwritten rules and turns them into something tangible that the AI can actually use.
And this is where it gets really smart. The whole thing creates this powerful self-improving loop, a flywheel effect. The more incidents the AI agents handle, the more data gets fed back into that production world model. This makes the model richer and more accurate, which then makes the AI agent smarter and faster at solving the next problem. It's a system that just keeps getting better over time.
Okay, so having a cool concept is one thing, but how do you get it working in the real, messy, complicated world of a giant enterprise? Well, that's exactly where this partnership between PlayerZero and Virtusa comes into play.
This whole partnership is really about combining the best of both worlds. PlayerZero brings the cutting-edge AI tech, the agents, and that world model we just talked about. Then you have Virtusa, which is this huge global IT services company. And they bring the scale and the know-how to actually integrate this stuff into complex corporate systems. And a key piece of their contribution is something called the Helio platform, which is basically the management layer that tells all these different AI agents what to do and makes sure they play nicely together inside a company's existing setup.
And as PlayerZero's CEO, Animesh Koratana, puts it, the whole goal here is to use this combined power to cut down on the day-to-day grind and help companies finally get the confidence they need to tackle those big modernization projects they've been putting off for years.
So, let's talk about the bottom line. How does all this cool tech actually translate into business value? What's the real argument for making this kind of huge investment? The business case is actually pretty clever and simple. It's self-funding modernization. The idea is that all the money you save by automating that complex level 2 and level 3 support work, plus all the QA stuff, that savings doesn't just go into a black hole. You can take that money and reinvest it directly into transforming your old, creaky legacy systems. So, in theory, the solution actually pays for the very innovation it's designed to enable.
But of course, we have to be realistic here and look at what we don't know yet. The vision is absolutely compelling, for sure, but the initial announcements are a little light on some key details. For example, there aren't any hard numbers out there yet on cost savings, we don't have specifics on how they'll handle sensitive data in highly regulated industries, and there's still some big questions about, how much data do you need to get started, and what do the performance guarantees look like?
When you zoom out, this whole initiative really forces us to ask a pretty fundamental question. As these AI agents get better and better, as they start handling tasks that used to require our most senior engineers, what does the future of an engineering team even look like? Will it free up humans to do more creative, high-level work? Or will it totally change the team structures that we're all used to? And that's the really big question this whole thing leaves us chewing on.